welcome to Buff's Brewery again. I'm going to try a bit of closed transfer today. Never done it before, so this is going to be the first time, and we'll see how we go. I've just got a brew in the fermenting fridge, just finishing cold crash, so I'm going to transfer it from the fermenter to my king keg, hopefully in a carbon dioxide rich atmosphere with minimal interference from oxygen. So we'll see how we go today. Okay, so excuse the clutter, but the first job is to sanitize the king keg. I've just given it a good wash and a rinse. So now to sanitize it, I use bottled water. On account of my water here is so hard that it turns the star saying that the milk goes to cloudy. And I read somewhere that's not a good idea. It's not a good idea to use it like that. So I've got Tesco's Finest, 2 gallons. We don't need that much. Still got some there. Thought I had some left. Doses of that. Stir around. So, top's on. I've given it a shake about, and just going to connect this beer line, which is in fact the transfer line. This end, I don't know if you can see that, this end's going to be connected to the tap on the bottom of the fermentation vessel, and then this will obviously go to the keg. So if I can flush some star sand through that line, it'll get sanitized. So just connect this up, hopefully. Right. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use some compressed air to push that through. So I've connected up my car pump to the gas in line to pressurise the barrel and hopefully flush some star sand through the line. Could get noisy. So that's flushing it out nicely. Okay, so I've flushed about a gallon through there, so I think that's enough. So I'm going to now put just water in and fill up the keg to the top. There. So let's fill that up. Put the top back on. Probably got a little bit of air in the top, but I think that will do for our first timer. See how we go. Okay, so it's got the top on, and yeah, that's pretty full. It's just a couple of small bubbles at the top, but I think that's pretty good. We've even got a little bit of pressure inside the vessel. So the next plan is to bring in the CO2 cylinder and purge out that water into the bucket so that the keg is full of CO2 with a minuscule amount of air in it. All nice and tight. So I'll just go and get the CO2 cylinder. Okay, gas cylinder is connected, dispense line is connected, turn the gas on. So running about 9 psi, and the water's flashing out nicely. A little bit of star sand in there, so it won't do any harm. Okay, so we're coming down to about the last gallon, I think. give it a little bit of CO2 because there's still a bit of water in there. Okay. Take that off. Take that off. So we've got a barrel that is hopefully full of CO2. That's the first bit. Now the transfer. Okay, so phase 2. There's the beer in the fermenter vessel. There's my CO2 breather pipe from the lid, and that's the beer out from the fermentation vessel. Inside the bucket I've got a king keg floating tube system, so the takeoff from the tap is actually from the top rather than the bottom where all the dead yeast is. Okay, so that's that, and then slightly lower we have the now prepared king keg, hopefully full of CO2, and the gas line from the king keg comes up into here, back into the fermentation vessel. I've got hooked up a CO2 balloon as well, just in case we need a little bit of ventilation, but I don't know, we shall see. So the idea is that as I say, we connect the beer to the keg, see what happens. So connect up the goes here. Unfortunately, my setup is in reverse to setup I have in my fridge. But there you go. Oh. The nice thing about having the float system is the tap doesn't get blocked. Says he on his maiden voyage. So it's awkward all in tears. See this? Okay. That should reach there, that's okay. So, what I normally want to do is to bleed that line to the keg end. So, I'll use another beer post that I just happen to have handy. Pop that on, and holding it above the level of the beer, open up and bleed the line down to the tap. So now I've got beer in the line, connect that to the barrel, and hopefully things should flow. There we go. just coming down to the bottom, starting getting some gas through. There you go, beer is transferred. So there's the barrel with the beer in, and I've just put 4 psi of CO2 on the top just to give it a start, and that's going to go in the fridge now at 20 degrees for about a fortnight until the pressure increase stops and the carbonation is finished. It's still pretty cold, so it'll take a day or so to come up to 20 degrees and for the yeast to start doing what yeast does. But just shut the door and leave it. Okay, so there's the empty fermentation vessel. There's the little push fit connector that I use to collect and refill CO2. I'm going to just show you what's left in the bottom. So there's about a quarter of an inch of beer in there, general goop, and you can see the float arrangement seems to work okay. Well, even if I do say so myself, I think for a first time that went pretty smoothly. But in the interest of full disclosure, I have to say that I did make one error, and that is I omitted the priming sugar stage. So I had to do that manually as normal this time round. But next time I think I can overcome that by putting the priming sugar in a little container like this and connecting that through the beer line, so that as the beer flows out of the fermentation vessel, it takes with it the priming sugar into the keg. So a little bit of an oversight there, but hey, I needed something to do for the next couple of months, so there you go. Well, I hope you enjoyed it. It was a bit like watching paint dry occasions, but we got there. Cheers.